Hey guys, welcome to the lab. I'm wearing my coat because it is freezing cold in here and my fingers are red. Today we're going to be doing the Kool-Aid Spectrometry Lab. Alright, I was unable to find lemon lime Kool-Aid, so we are using lemon lime Gatorade, which should give us a similar reading. Alright, I've set up my passcode. Alright, I can't read all of the wavelengths that are listed here, but I'm going to read out what wavelengths I do have. All right, and then we'll read those. So I've already filled my cuvette. It's got a 1 centimeter path length. I actually got a bubble in it there. All right, and I'm gonna clean the non-ridged sides with lint-free cloth. I'm gonna go ahead and put it in my colorimeter, which came with our passcode kits. All right, and then I'm just gonna press start. All right, so our 450 nanometer absorbance, all right, so it says we have 460, we're gonna do 450. My 450 nanometer absorbance is 0.482. My blue 500 nanometer absorbance, 500 nanometers, 500 is 0.279. All right. My green 550, so instead of my green 550 is 0.216. All right, and I'm writing these down as I'm reading them off to you. My yellow, which is 570, is 0.196. All right, my orange, which is 600, is 0.203. All right, my red, which is 650, is 0.177. All right. Okay, so I'm gonna stop this run. I'm gonna set it up to read some other wavelengths, all right, and then we will run it again. Ends up that's all the ones I can read. The other ones are transmittance. So we've read the absorbance for all of the values. And looking at these, I can determine that 450 is going to be the best absorbance for me to read when I'm reading my other values. So I'm going to set up to read 450 violet absorbance. All right, I've got that set up. And I'm going to do digits. And so now I'm ready to read my unknowns, which I have already made up. I've made 10 milliliters of each. So a 10% I made by putting 1 milliliter of Gatorade and 9 milliliters of water, 25, 2.5, and then 7.5 of water, 44 and 6, and 60 the next one. So next what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be putting each of these into a cuvette, all right, and reading them. So let me go ahead and get started with the 10. I'm just gonna pour it in over the sink. Oop, almost too much. There we go. I'm gonna put the lid on, clean it with a lint-free cloth. And these came out, I found these. Okay, I'm gonna make sure I have no bubbles because you really don't want any bubbles. That can mess up your absorbance and your transmittance. All right, so get those bubbles. I got some sort of bug floating in it. It's floating to the top. All right, so let's go ahead and read this 10%. All right, so my 10%, I'm gonna go to my other table. All right, so my 10%, I'm gonna start my run. And I'm getting 0.051 as my absorbance. Okay, so next, I'm gonna stop that run, pull that one out. I'm just gonna I have a lot of cuvettes here, so I'm gonna just do a different one for each one. So now I'm gonna do the 25%. Overfilled that one too. I'm having skills at that. Put the lid on. All right. Tap it a little bit on the table, and I'm going to put this in and press start. just letting it level out. And it's reading at 0.112. All right, let's go to the next one. This is fun stuff. All right, 40%. Oop, that one I didn't overfill. All right, let me get a fresh wipe. All right, make sure I wipe the sides. All right, I put this in, close, press start. This one's reading at 0.167. All right, stop that, pull it out. All right, next one is my 60%. All right, put the lid on. Refresh. Clean it. So you're seeing a lot of fun here with me cleaning the sides of this. I'm gonna go ahead and put it on in, press it down, press start. So this is the 60%, and it is reading at 0.292. 0.292. All right. Okay, I'm gonna pull that out, and then I'm gonna get this cuvette, which had just some water in it. Oop, holding the wrong side. Let me clean my fingerprints off of this. All right, and this is my unknown, which was obtained from the illegal bar. It's like we're in the book, The Poisoner's Handbook, and we're testing Prohibition era alcohol to determine what it is and what's the concentration. Excitement, right? And I know you guys aren't nearly as excited as I am. All right, put that on. Wipe fingerprints off that might be on the sides that are going to be for reading. Putting it in, closing the lid, pressing start. Letting it settle. And this is reading 0.169. 0.169. All right. So that is the end. I'm going to clean this baby up. I'm going to videotape how to make a regression line. All right, and then and add that to this video. Okay, so hold on, don't turn it off yet. All right, and then that'll allow you to finish up this lab. Hey guys, so we've collected our data from the lab, and now we're going to turn it in and figure out our unknown concentration. So I've put in some fake data here. All right, you're going to need to take that data that we got in the lab and put it in. So I have my percent concentration, so 10%, 25%, 40%, 60%, and 100%. Now the 100% is going to come from the first part of the lab, that absorbance of, I believe it was the violet color. Let me double check. All right, from our initial portion of the lab. Yes, for the 450 nanometers. Okay, so, but I made up some fake ones. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a scatter chart and a trend line. All right, and I'm going to show you how to do this in Google Sheets. So first I'm going to highlight all of this. I'm going to go to Insert, Chart. All right. All right, and I want a scatter chart. All right. Oh, what happened there? Oh, let me edit this. 0.25, not 25. There we go. That fixed it. Now I'm going to click on my chart. All right. And I'm down to customize. I'm going to go to series. And I'm going to click on trend line. All right, and I want a linear trend line. All right, it doesn't care line. You want the label to be the equation. All right, and you're going to show your r squared. I've got a perfect r squared of 1 here, which means my line perfectly fits my data, which it should because I made up the data to match it exactly. All right, so my trend line is 0.01x plus 0, all right, is my r squared. Now I'm going to go in and I'm going to make a few changes to my data to make it a little weirder. Okay. All right. So you notice I made a couple changes here, and now that's changed my equation. All right. So I'm going to write down this equation on a sheet of paper. All right. Oop. And we're going to go and we're going to figure out how to rearrange, okay, this equation so that we can solve for our unknown.
Okay guys, so we have our equation for our line, and remember this is from made up data. I want to mention that x on our x-axis was our percent concentration and on our y is an absorbance. We have an unknown, and I'm going to say the concentration is 0.262. I don't know what we actually had from our data. Alright, so my unknown, and that's my unknown absorbance. Alright. So I'm going to put that in here as the y, and I'm going to solve for x. So 0.0102x plus 0.0239 equals 0.262. Alright? Now, just solving an algebraic equation, I'm going to subtract 0.0239 from both sides. Alright? And I've got my calculator handy. Alright, so I get 0.0102 equals 0.2381. Oh, and that's x. I'm going to divide by both sides by 0.0102. Okay. Right, and my x, right, comes equal 23.3%. Alright, so that is my value of my unknown. Now, this is all from made up data, so you're going to have to do this, alright, for what we collected during the lab and solve for that. Alright, wishing you the best work and solving time. We'll see you later.